Welcome to this Chicopee training video. My name is Paul Bowles and today we're going to be talking about tack wipes. You will be focusing in the main on car manufacturer operations, but today I'll be filming inside the facility of an accident repair centre, and that does allow me the chance to talk about both the aftermarket and car manufacturing. Inside, and whilst representing Chicopee, we always observe personal safety rules. You'll see I've got my safety shoes on, my lint-free overalls. I'm not wearing deodorant or aftershave. As you know, they contain silicones, the arch enemy of paint. You'll also observe that I've got the Chicopee brand and my name on my overalls. That's convention inside car plants, so they can recognise where you're from. More importantly, they can recognise you. All skin carries natural greases, and any contact with the panel can easily leave a residue, like this. That's why we wear gloves. I prefer a brightly coloured gloves, so if I'm going across a panel, I can see any contaminants. For the purpose of this training, I'm going to break it down to three principal areas. What are tack wipes? Why do we use tack wipes? And then look at wiping and folding techniques to maximise the use. So, what are tack wipes? Tack wipes, quite simply, are wipes that are tacky, and we use them for collecting particles and dust. We have three in our range. All of them are considered low tack, and this is an important definition for you to understand. In this environment of car manufacturer, or even in the aftermarket, where we've got high panel temperatures, we do not want to leave a residue. To give you an example of temperatures, in this aftermarket facility, they will bake a car at 60 degrees. That's because the car is built up, it's got tyres, it's got plastic, it's got trim, it's even got fuel in the tank. And they can't risk any explosions or anything to melt. In a car manufacturer, they bake at 160 degrees. The panel temperatures are very high. You cannot afford a high tack wipe in this environment. I spoke earlier about silicones being the enemy of paint. And at Chicopee, we ensure that our wipes are silicone free. You see on this label here, we have a barcode. That indicates an audit trail. We are responsible for the production from base material through to the finished product. We have a laboratory which batch tests the product all the way through. The machinery that's used for cutting, for folding and for packaging are all self-lubricating. We could not afford to use any other lubricants or silicones in the process. All this for your peace of mind. We have three wipes in the Chicopee range. We take the first one, Tack. A feature of this is it's a nice tight pattern. Real benefit where we cover them with microdust. Microdust is where something just needs a light wipe, and you can see there's multiple surfaces on there to actually attract the contaminants. We then have an Tack Super. Again, a nice tight pattern on this one, but a little stickier. And you might want to use this where there's a bit more contamination. So to collect the dust, and there we go. You can see the attachment there. And this last one, Tack Plus, is much more open. It's apertured. And we'd use this particularly on sanding operations where there's much more dust to collect. It's space for the dust to collect in the apertures. Tack Plus is best suited to this circumstance, where we're creating more dust through paintwork or through fuller. The open pattern of the Tack Plus better absorbs the dust. And there we go. It's important to remember why we tack. The most important factor about tack wiping is that removing contaminants, as we've seen, allows the paint to adhere and form a smooth film. Finally, how do we tack? Well, we take our tack wipe and we fold once and we fold again. We've now got a surface area we can use for tacking. We use the palm of our hand with very light pressure, and we go from right to left, left to right, down the panel. When we finish the bottom corner, we then picture frame this particular area, coming off where we started. That used surface now, we can turn the wipe over and we can use the opposite surface. When that's been used, we can turn again and we've got 2 more surfaces to use. We can then refold, and that's presenting us 4 more surfaces to be used. There are 8 surfaces to be used on that wipe. So let's set this panel off. We go right to left, left to right, all the way down the panel. Taking it down. When we get to the bottom corner, we then picture frame the panel. Go all the way around the edge, taking the wipe off where you started. There's our contamination. I've spoken about Chicopee wipes, their Tack wipes, and how we use and the innovation behind those wipes. But I also want to talk about adding value and what Chicopee do to align ourselves alongside engineers in car manufacturing plants. And the top tip is to look in the dustbin of what they're currently doing. If you look in the dustbin, you can see how they're using their wipes. This particular one, okay, they've used a few sides. This one here has been used by a scruncher. Someone scrunched it up and used it. But you look at it, it's barely been used. We'll look at another one, not really used. Now, if you're having a conversation with an engineer and you want to add value, they are interested in that sort of alignment to their thinking. They will be very interested in you talking through process to maximise the use of their wipes, and more importantly, the efficiencies and reducing their defects per vehicle. So, top tip for you. And finally, what have we covered? Well, first of all, I reminded you about safety guidelines, and that's very important to operate to the safety guidelines of wherever you go in, but also your personal safety. There are no exceptions. We then spoke about the exacting standards that Chicopee wipes are made to, and you can rely on the quality of those wipes. We then spoke about using the correct wipe for the correct job. We then thought about the actual technique of wiping the panel and picture framing it, and then finally how the wipe is folded. Spend some time with the engineer and understand what his needs are, and offer solutions to where he wants to be with this process. I hope you found that useful. I certainly hope we'll be doing some more training videos to support and help you in what you want to achieve, and I'll be saying goodbye for now.